You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, YNR fans, I've got your early edition spoilers for the week of October 7th through the 11th. Phyllis is going to be in a rage over Heather's murder, and I fully expect her to accuse Sharon. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and as we always do on early edition day, we start with the spoilers for the rest of this week. And hey, if you're not subscribed, please click that button. Let's dig into the action coming on Wednesday, October 2nd. So Audra tells Victor that Kyle is sabotaging her. It's like they're two kids running to their dad to tattle. And Victor talks to her and Kyle and says, prove to me who should be CEO. He is making it a challenge. And so they both get busy on trying to do each other dirty. Jack and Diane share breakfast at Society, and he tells her about the run-in with Billy and him telling him that Victoria and Victor are at odds over his whole deal with Abbott Chancellor. Diane thinks that Jack should let Billy sink or swim on his own because they have other fish to fry, and she wants to replace Kyle since he doesn't seem to be coming back to Jabot. And Jack really hurts Diane, saying that she seems to be more worried about work than their son. And then he walks away to take a call. And that's when Audra walks up on her. And Diane wants to know how to get Audra away from Kyle. And Audra makes it clear, my claws aren't in him. I don't want him. They're bickering, and Diane is insulting Audra about her treachery with Tucker and what else she might be doing. And when Jack returns, Audra sweeps away and watches Jack and Diane resume their bickering. Meanwhile, his parents are over having breakfast. Kyle gets into his mom's laptop at the mansion, pokes around, finds something, and then he hightails it back to Victor. Kyle tells Victor that he can prove he's better as the sole CEO than Audra, and tells him he has the formula for this hot new Jabot moisturizer that they are developing that's not on the market yet. And Victor, of course, wants it for Glissade, but Kyle says he's not going to hand it over until Victor fires Audra. He takes off. Audra shows up with her gossip about Diane and Jack fighting and there being trouble at Jabot. But it's too little too late, and Victor fires Audra. Later, Kyle runs into his parents, and he's very smugly happy about getting Audra axed, but he has betrayed the family, and that's going to be problematic. Sharon is trying to pretend to be normal. She's play acting around Faith and Nick at the house. She even agrees to let Nick drive her to therapy, but of course Cameron is there telling Sharon, keep it up. You know, he's that devil on her shoulder. He tells her Heather was annoying, so it was okay to kill her, I guess. And Sharon seems to see Heather's death as a wake-up call, and she says she wants to get to the doctor and get her head on straight, but Cameron is busily telling her, you need to kill Daniel. Finish the work we have started. And he also advises her that she needs to tell some pretty convincing lies to her therapist or she's going to be caught. Daniel, Summer, and Phyllis hang out at Crimson Lights, and he tells them that Heather has taken off, and he tells them about her text. Daniel decides to call Paul over in Portugal to see if Heather's dad has heard from her, and Summer and Phyllis are both urging Daniel, you know, it'll be okay. Don't jump to any conclusions. Nick and Sharon show up at Crimson Lights, but Daniel doesn't even want to look at Sharon because the text from Heather said she left town because of Sharon. So he takes off, and Phyllis and Summer come over to talk to Nick, but Sharon is acting really weird, just unhinged weird. Nick is giving her a little side eye. Phyllis and Summer take off. Nick offers to stick around at the coffee shop to help Sharon, and then Mariah is calling to check in, and Sharon's just feeling the weight of their scrutiny again and just wants them to leave her alone. So Daniel gets a call back from Paul, who says, no, Heather's not here and I haven't heard from her, and then Phyllis catches up with Daniel just as the police call him. He is in absolute shock, tells his mom that fishermen found a body and they think it is Heather. Daniel thinks it's a mistake. He hopes it's a mistake. He heads over to the morgue, and it is not a mistake. It is a very dead Heather. And just so you know, Vail Bloom finally confirmed on Tuesday that she is officially done as Heather. And this is, 2 days before U.S. fans saw her, or a day before U.S. fans see her on the slab in the morgue. Most definitely dead. Vail said she had about 3 weeks notice that her character was being murdered by Sharon. And she talked about how grateful she was to have this new run at Y&R, talked a lot how the death scene was pretty intense to film, but she said the most challenging thing was actually just lying there playing dead after she was killed, because she was in kind of a funny position. And interestingly, she doesn't discount the chance for a character resurrection, saying that she don't think it's the last we will see of Heather. And I mean, they did resurrect Diane later in kind of similarly gruesome circumstances where they were definitely dead. So we'll see. Thursday, October 3rd, Nick is comforting Phyllis, who is also, of course, distraught that Heather has been killed. Victor and Lily get together to do some more conspiring, and Sharon is struggling to seem normal as the news of Heather's body being found spreads around Genoa City. Friday, October 4th, Billy spends some time with Sally. Again, they are commiserating over, what they're dealing with Adam and Chelsea. And speaking of Adam and Chelsea, he is hitting Chelsea with some tough love. Maybe it's something like, Billy's never going to take you back. Give it up. I wonder if Chelsea's going to run away again like she has every time that she has talked to Adam recently. And Daniel is facing a harsh new reality after the devastating news that Heather has been killed. He's got to tell Lucy. He has got to cope with being a single dad. He's got a funeral to plan. This is so messy. And of course, I think we're all wondering if Y&R is going to have Heather's funeral without Doug Davidson there as her dad, Paul Williams. And I'm guessing that is exactly what they're going to do, which is terrible. The week of October 7th through the 11th, Sharon's off-kilter behavior continues to devolve. She is trying to pretend she is sane. Phyllis has been telling Nick for weeks and weeks something is deeply wrong with his other ex. And with Daniel and Lucy absolutely grief-stricken over Heather's murder, I am quite certain Phyllis is going to suspect and blame Sharon. I expect Nick to be in denial until there's harsh proof that she did do it. And Cameron, of course, continues to urge Sharon to target Daniel and kill him next, but she's going to be under very intense scrutiny from Phyllis, from Nick, and others. And years of dislike between Sharon and Phyllis are about to reach a boiling point. They won't blow up until the following week on Friday, October 18th, which is the standalone Phyllis episode for Michelle Stafford's 30th anniversary. Expect big action between Sharon and Phyllis that day. Victor has Lily and Kyle both engaging in corporate sabotage. That is going to come back and bite all three of them at some point. And of course, time is ticking down to when Jill Abbott returns. And I'm kind of hoping she and Jack team up to take down Victor and the people conspiring with him.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.